Hi, this is Karen in behalf of Matt, Lloyd, and Moab, and today we're going to call Ruslan, who is a diamond consultant and has earned $1,250. So let's go ahead and give him a call.
Hi, Karen. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very good. Good to hear from you again.
Yes, same here.
Good to hear your voice. Because we have some more commissions, a silver. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Congratulations. $1,250. So tell us about the sale.
So this one is actually very dear and near to my heart because it's got two things that hold so much dear and near to my heart. One is because it was my very first sale, which is, for one, it's always exciting and
Right.
you get the energy build up and something inside of you gets so excited you get overwhelmed and emotional. And the second thing is we've done these calls before, and you know that I'm originally from Russia, and so the second thing is out of everybody worldwide that Moab does business with, my very first customer ends up being a Russian that
Nice.
lives in Denver, Colorado. So that's that's bizarre that it was the first individual, my first sale, and it ended up being somebody that's originally from Russia. So I'm always excited about that.
Oh, that's great. So have you been in contact with this person over time?
Yes, I have. And I've been in contact with him since day one, and we're still. His first name is Kirill, and ever since day one, I've been in contact with him, and it's either through Skype or text messages or emails. And he still, till this day, opens my emails and checks them to see what I have in terms of any help he might need. I always offer through emails and text messages. And with him, since he was my very first customer and somebody that trusted me, and it took some work on my part to convince him that this is a real deal, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of Russian people, and I'm speaking from experience for myself, is they're very skeptical, and it takes a long time to try to convince them that something really does work, and there are results. And so after talking to him on the phone for about 30 minutes, I convinced him, and I really encouraged him that he's got a young family. It's I want to say they're both kids, daughter and son, are under 7 years old, I want to say, and a wife. And we talked on a personal level how this is really, he would be doing this for his family and not really for me or for himself. And over time, he's going to be able to find freedom and not have to work full time at his current job that he's at. And I made myself available to him 24/7. So there's been times where we've talked at nighttime, like at past midnight, even all the way to 2 in the morning, just because he had some questions after he got the silver. And so for me, again, I get very excited and emotional about this, because again, this is a first-time sale, and it happens to be a Russian individual that I spoke to in Russian and was able to convince him that this is a real deal without any tricks or magic tricks up my sleeve, so to speak.
Right. Well, and he can't get away from you. You've been in contact so many times. It's there.
Yes.
There's there's no reason to believe that this is any kind of a scam or that it's not real, and that he has you to support him and help him along the way. So I think that's very important.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I also try to, without kind of being prideful and arrogant, I show my results as well. I'll send them a email, through Skype, because that's our best way to communicate right now. I'll send them a message and saying, hey, I got another silver. Just kind of nudge them and let them know that, hey, you did this right.
Happening.
That these things are possible. That there is no escape route from from endless possibilities with Mob as long as you do the work and you listen to your coach advice.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give your team on how to brand themselves online and kind of create a social, an internet presence?
It's actually funny you asked this, because just yesterday I was, as you know, currently, just to keep my Mo business afloat until my Mo business takes off, I drive for Uber, and I was contemplating on this exact thing just yesterday, that I'm going to be sending an email to my whole team and telling them that, you really need to look back at the history of what you've done so far in your life, and be proud of it, no matter what it is, whether you've been in electrical business or you've been a plumber for 20, 30 years. It doesn't matter what position you've had for all these years. You need to be proud of that would be my very first advice. You need to be proud of your past, as long as it's obviously the positive and the good past. But for example, I've started out in the shipping department, worked there for a while. Then I went, drove semi trucks for a year. Then I worked for a retail store for another about 8 to 12 months. And then I worked in the rubber industry as a rubber mill operator for 3 years. And then drove a airport shuttle bus. And then also now driving for Uber. So
Right.
all of that to say, and I'm going to use that as an example for them to encourage them that whatever your past was that you worked, you need to be proud of that, because that's what makes you who you are today. And from that point on, I would encourage them to say that now you're the one that took interest in this business, this online business. And you need to do whatever it takes to get rid of the negativity or whatever it is that you have in your mind that is telling you that, just because you were, for instance, say you're a plumber or you were a shipper and a receiver in a warehouse, that does not mean you can't do this business. And in fact, I think that goes as a life application for anything in life. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Just like one of my favorite quotes by Henry Ford. He said, "Whatever you think you can or can't, you're right." It's a very simple and a very applicable quote that pretty much says that if you think you cannot do something, you're right, you can't, because you've already made up your mind without even trying or without giving it a chance. So that would be my overall advice to all my team members that are on my list currently, is just look at the past to where you've come from. And because you can't return the past, whether it's good or bad, you can't return it. But you can let it shape you and shape your future, so to speak, from whatever you had in the past.
I completely agree with you. And that's what actually connects people to you, that they resonate with you because they can feel that you're a real person, and that you had the same life experiences as they had. So I completely agree.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is you have to be real with people, and that's what I try to be. And it's part of life. I do have some people that even recently unsubscribed from my email list for whatever reason. I don't know, and I'm not going to try to figure it out, because the mind is an amazing thing.
Right.
Sometimes people just are not interested at the moment, or they don't. Again, goes back to Henry Ford's quote. Maybe they already assume that they can't do it, and so they've already predetermined for their future with the online industry that this is not for them.
Right.
And that's okay. I'd rather be honest with them and get people to unsubscribe, knowing that, okay, these are the people that are not interested. And there's no hard feelings. I mean,
Right.
They can move on in their future, and that my team that gets my emails, that still subscribe to my emails, they can move on and over time start to realize, okay, maybe this is for us. And I've actually had this is a perfect example of somebody that I've had on my list for about a year now, and he just now contacted me via email he replied to one of my emails that about IMF Freedom event that was going on in Houston, and he wrote me on November 30th, which was a couple of days ago, and he didn't end up going to that event, but he just wrote me in a very short sentence. He said, "I'm in. That's it." And so, and I'm actually proud of this individual that he did that, because it shows that my hard work of not really pushing this individual, but more so sending emails and just showing that I'm more of a authority, so to speak. I have a value to bring to the table, and so over the year, he probably read a lot of my emails and just didn't know if I was a real person or not. And so I'm very encouraged that, just like Mob said, and just like anything else in life, if you're persistent and you keep pushing yourself, you're gonna find little things like that. And so for me, finding that out from last week, to me, I feel like very confident, very motivated in what I do now, to know that, okay, if I had somebody from last year that joined and they haven't contacted me, or in fact, this individual almost said that he doesn't want to do this because he's got a great job. So for whatever reason, he chose to come back and at least read my emails. And so I'm working with him right now to get him a new coach that should be assigned to him in the next couple of days. And so I don't know, that to have that and to have one of my first buyers, that is a big thing to have when you have that combined, because that gives me motivation. And I'm actually, just before you called me, I'm working on my personal schedule of what I'm going to have, so I can figure out on a daily basis what hours I need to work and take breaks so I don't overload myself. But I don't know, Karen, I'm just really excited. I'm in a good place in my life, knowing that there's people that are starting to trust me and believe that what I have to offer is legitimate and it's not fake, or, and I try to tell them that in almost every email that there is no magical pill that you can take, like from the movie Matrix, that, overnight you're going to make millions of dollars. You will have to do some work. And as I tell them that, I also send them encouraging emails, giving them options of what they could do. They may not have the funds, but I'm not going to turn them down and say, well, they're not going to receive my emails that have very valuable information on how to start online business, whether it's blogging or website building, whatever it is. They can still do it, because I don't believe in shutting people down just because they chose not to advance.
Right. Well, you're certainly on your way. Congratulations, and it's so wonderful to see the success that you're having, and I always look forward to calling you and talking to you about the results you've had. So hopefully we'll be doing this again soon next week, and right?
Oh, yeah, and you know what? I actually, real quick, because I know our call is coming to an end, but I actually just passed the $12,000 mark for lifetime with Mob.
Good job.
So I've already contacted Moab's support team, asking them for the 10K cross mark that you're supposed to get a ring, so I can have one more evidence for myself as a motivational tool, but also one more evidence to show my team members that, look, this is a ring. It's not to brag, but to show that when Matt Lloyd gives all these incentives, they're real. They're not fake. Right. And I have enough Moab's motor points that I could really get a vehicle right now for the next almost 6 months. But I don't want to do that yet because I'm not in that place in my life. I'd rather get a consistency going of making $5,000 every month, so that way I know I'm covered for a year or two until the lease expires on the vehicle. But all these great incentives, they're real, and that's what I want to express to these people and anybody else that's watching this video. All the incentives that you see, they're legitimate, they're real, they're not fake. You're not going to find any of these incentives with any other company that you work for, especially when it comes to online industry. I mean, they got, Moab's got Moab's motor program. They have vacation points that you can use at our newest resort in Costa Rica, and so many more. And I'm not going to name them all. If you guys are watching this, you just need to go and find out what the commission is and what all the incentives that you get with this. But anyway, yeah, I'm very glad that you called, Karen. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Karen.
Have a wonderful day. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.